Oprah? Really? You show your box spring shaped ass up here, via Zoom no less, after all you've done to me, my family, my children? Security, is it possible to disconnect someone else's Wi-Fi?
My dear sweet Michael, you and I need to have a come to Jesus meeting. Let's forgive each other for what transpired so that we can put all of this behind us.
Forgive each other? Imagine thinking that I owe you an apology when you tried to take me out. I mean, seriously, fuck this parody. Bitch, how the hell do you try to take a person out that's been dead for over a decade? What the hell do you even get out of that? Make it make sense. Okay, back in character. Harpo, your presence wasn't requested here. I invited the legends and the pioneers to Neverland to finalize our plans to safely instruct the new generation of talent during this pandemic. This is a gathering for people that I actually consider to be friends. And Madonna. In fact, I even invited a well-known chef here to cater this event. Everyone, please welcome...
Hey, y'all.
Bitch, this isn't a KKK rally! What the fuck are you doing here?
Wait a minute. Where's my favorite singer of color? Miss All I Want for Christmas is Relevance and a Check. What do they call her? The owl? The parrot? No. The crow. Yeah, where's the crow?
Do you mean the Songbird Supreme, aka Mariah?
Oh yes, that's it. I love her. That little half negress. I have some nice juicy juice for her and her red Kool-Aid drinking friends. I sure do.
Ooh, child, it's the blatant racism for me.
Oh, hey, little Richarda. I know you. Didn't you steal Tutti Frutti from Pat Boone? You know, your kind is always stealing from my white brethren. Anyway, I would ask if you want some mullet or some tilapia, but we all know you don't do fish.
Careful!
Oh, wait, I do have something for you. Your favorite. A manwich. Doesn't that sound good?
Bitch, did you get lost in your way to a rally for that fraudulent Cheeto still crying about losing? How the fuck do you lose an election 6,000 times in a row and still claim that it's rigged against you?
Prince.
Bitch, I don't care. He's blocked on every social media platform. He's not gonna see this.
I thought I invited Sonny Anderson here to cater this event. What can I say? The lady makes some good macaroni and cheese. Macaroni in a pot. Also, that ass is kinda fat. Anyway, Paula, what are you doing here? Is this one of the people that you invited, Harpo?
Hey, Aretha. How you doing, Big Mama? Would you like some of these chitlins on a Ritz cracker? Absolutely. Would drizzle a little sardine juice on mine.
What the hell is going on? I mean, seriously, I'm so lost. Anyway, chitlins on a Ritz cracker? Okay, back to the original virus that decided to make her unwanted presence known. Harpo, did you say that we should forgive each other? What the hell would you need to forgive me for?
For your wildly inappropriate relationships with children, Michael.
Oop, Peter, Paul, and Mary Wilson. Not even 5 minutes into this episode and she already went there. Ali versus Frazier. Tyson versus Holyfield. Mayweather versus McGregor. Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul.
Cody.
Oh my God.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, Jesus.
Night Irene.
Oh, Lord.
Mamma mia, the problem child proven to be a big problem.
They don't have anything on the showdown that's about to take place here. Michael versus Oprah, bitch. This is about to be the most epic episode of TLP ever.
Yes! Praise God. Glory. This is about to be a read for the history books. A read like no other. A read that will be filled with shade and facts that people can key to and be educated by. People will be reciting this read for years to come at graduations, at weddings, at funerals, at the next stop of Odessa's No Vision Tour.
And balance doesn't mean all things are equal or at peace at all times.
Yes! Praise karma.
So, let me get this straight. You want me to apologize to you for what you deem inappropriate? Security, where are you? Somebody come get this bitch. She's clearly been huffing Elmer's glue.
Did someone say Elmer? I'm so glad he killed those silly wabbits.
Not Elmer Fudge, you psychotic bitch! Elmer's glue! You know, what you've clearly been sniffing for the last 45 years.
We need new security detail. This human psychedelic keeps gaining access.
You all complain about Sister Liza as if she is supposed to be anything other than what she is. Cat shit crazy. So learn to embrace her craziness as she has. As I've always said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. I've known the bitch since 1972. I believed her the first time. Now carry on, Oprah.
Oh, Mother Maya Angelou. Thank God, someone I know who will be on my side.
No, dear. I think you were dead wrong, too. Michael, don't let her bring you down. Still you rise. You rise. You rise. Carry on, Oprah.
Okay, turncoat. Anywho, Michael, you have to understand, I use my platform to cover numerous topics. I was one of the first major public figures to shed light on topics such as domestic violence, child abuse, rape, peach cobbler recipes, etc.
Ooh, my peaches are ultra sweet and moist. My peaches are delicious too. No cobbler though. We don't do crust.
Nobody cares about your tots, Richard. Hush!
Careful!
Anyway, my platform was the Me Too movement before it even existed. It is only fair that I covered this topic.
Fair reporting would have been if you presented all sides and let the public make up their own minds. You presented only one side and excluded any and everyone that would/could defend my character and my innocence. In fact, you literally told people it was time to say goodbye to me one last time.
I merely presented the facts as they were alleged, Mikey.
Okay, let's get something straight. You will not disrespect me. Don't call me Mikey, you phony bitch. And facts? Really? Well, let's discuss the actual factuals. But before we do, everyone, pause this video and go brew a pot of tea. I mean it. Pause this video and brew a pot of tea, because you will be sipping throughout this entire episode.
Bitch, I am 69 steps ahead of you! I am ordering the biggest and finest pot of tea from the TLP Shade and Receipts delivery app. And bitch, I need y'all to make sure this tea is hot, scorching, burn the girls! Because you know they love to act like our receipts are fraudulent, like we haven't been serving only the finest cups of Earl Grey since we premiered in 2013.
Where's the flavor? Where's the flavor in this? I don't taste anything. I don't taste sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, milk, nothing. Nothing at all. It's just bland.
Let's start with Wade and James. First and foremost, Wade testified in 2005 that nothing inappropriate ever happened to him when he and I were together. He has since done a complete 180 and now claims that he basically committed perjury in his original testimony. In fact, he has given at least 4 or 5 different versions of why he allegedly lied. Let's examine a few of those excuses, shall we? He initially claimed that he was bullied by my lawyers to testify. How, Sway? How would that even be possible when he was never subpoenaed? In layman terms, if he never received a subpoena, that means he voluntarily testified in my defense.
And as far as making anybody testify, I would love for Wade Robson to show me the subpoena he never got. I simply called him and told him, listen, we need to get you up there by such and such a date. I was in regular communication with his sister, who testified. I was in regular communication with his mother, who testified. So when I hear some of these allegations, I'm trying not to say the stupidity level, the absurdity level is insane.
By the way, since we just established that he volunteered to testify, he could have easily volunteered to testify against me for the prosecution. But he didn't. Clock that. And if you didn't catch it, let it marinate. Moving on. His next excuse is that he didn't want to admit the truth to protect my kids, so they wouldn't lose a father. Well, that's strange. If I'm this monster that viciously abused him, wouldn't he want to spare my kids from having to deal with what he alleges happened to him? Speak up, Harpo. I can't hear you.
Well?
What's wrong? Facts got your tongue?
Oh, I love Cats, the musical. The play is wonderful, but that movie adaptation was just,
Liza, I didn't say Cats. I said, never mind. Moving on.
Hey, y'all. You know, it's so tense in here. Let's lighten the mood a bit. Michael, I got some of that KFC for you in my blouse. Reach in there and get you some, boy. You know you like that, and you know what that is. That's a breast, and I'm not talking about the chicken either.
That's disgusting.
Now, I usually don't do Negrotian man, but I loved your father, Joey Bishop. Wait, no. That wasn't his name, was it, Sugar? Johnny Carson? Oh, no, darn, I'm sorry. It's,
Joseph Jackson?
Jackie Wilson. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Okay, I don't even have anything to say to that. Moving on. Third, and most ridiculous of all, Wade claims that he didn't understand that what happened to him was abuse and that it was wrong. Pay close attention to this claim. Wade isn't saying that he repressed memory of the abuse. He's insisting that he knew it happened but didn't understand that it was abuse or wrong.
Perhaps he didn't understand, especially if they didn't pose questions that would help him fully comprehend that what he experienced was abuse.
I'm glad you said that. Let's look at a reenactment of Wade's testimony from 2005. This is a word-by-word reenactment. Again, word-by-word reenactment of what was asked and what Wade said on the stand. Oh, yes, he, me, him. I brought receipts. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
You're telling us nothing happened, is that right?
Yes.
All right. What you're really telling us is nothing happened while you were awake. Isn't that true?
I'm telling you that nothing ever happened.
Mr. Robson, when you were asleep, you wouldn't have known what had happened, particularly at age 7, would you have?
I would think something like that would wake me up.
And I want to make it very clear that Wade was asked very specific and direct questions about the allegations. Here is a clip of Wade from 2016 as part of a video deposition where he's being asked to review and confirm his original testimony from 2005.
This is a transcript of your testimony from the 2005 criminal trial, correct?
It appears to be that way.
On line 18, you're asked, Mr. Robson, did Michael Jackson ever molest you at any time? And you said, absolutely not, correct?
Correct.
On line 21, you're asked, Mr. Robson, did Michael Jackson ever touch you in a sexual way? And you responded, never, no, correct?
Correct.
On line 24, you're asked, Mr. Robson, has Mr. Jackson ever inappropriately touched any part of your body at any time, correct?
Correct.
And your answer was no, correct?
Correct.
On line 14, you were asked, and at no time has any sexual contact ever occurred between you and Mr. Jackson, right? Do you see that?
Yes.
And your answer was never, correct?
Yes.
Wade was 23 in 2005. Again, 23 motherfucking years of age in 2005. So that means at no point during the hours that he spent on stand being asked very specific and direct questions by my defense and later the prosecution did he speak up. Remember, he's not claiming repressed memory. He says that he knew that it happened but didn't understand that it was wrong. Well, being asked the questions that you just saw in that deposition, wouldn't he have finally made the connection in that moment that what he alleges happened to him was wrong? In fact, that was his golden opportunity to ensure that I will be put away in jail for the rest of my life, and he didn't take advantage of that moment? Think about it. Does that make sense to you?
Bitch, look at how he ate that and left no crumbs. You better come with all the receipts, parentheticals, and citations. Educate and inform us, bitch. Educate and inform us.
You know, life for Wayne ain't been no crystal stair, but that gives him no right to blatantly lie on you, Kang MJ.
Okay, so he has a flimsy excuse for his testimony in 2005, but it doesn't mean his present-day account is false. For all I know, what you're presenting is fake news. Michael, what about the years he spent coming to terms with what happened to him?
Girl, if you don't stop peddling that bullshit while trying to throw Miss Wade a much-needed life raft.
Oh, honey, yes, you, the rich bitch. Opalika. Would you like some stewed prune cobbler?
Prune cobbler? Hey, wait a minute. Matamuso, don't they serve that to you on weekends at your assisted living facility? Bitch.
Hey, y'all. Have you ever sat on a bar stool and pumped your pussies? You know, sometimes when my cakes are baking, I'll just sit on a bar stool and pump my pussy for hours. It's such a release.
Bitch, I was wondering why it smelled like wet dog and boiled bologna in here.
Her bologna has a first name. It's P-U-S-S-Y.
Moving on. My God. Let's examine the years after 2005 and Wade's actions during that time. After my heavenly ascent, Wade participated in a tribute to me at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards with my sister Janet, aka the Empress of Pop.
BKA, a bitch who would never sit down for another interview with you again. AKA and BKA, a bitch who you have fucked up too. Anyway, that rhythmless nation, Timmy Two Steps having bitch. It's kick, spin, ball change, and then Axel Wade in the water. Ditzy ass grifter was on stage doing a 3.5 count when the rest of us were doing a full 8. I should have known that something was wrong with that Sesame Street strolling, Big Bird squawking, Snuffleupagus trunk sucking, Oscar the Grouch smelling fuckboy then.
I'll have you know Janet, Tina Turner, and Beyonce were all jealous of my dancing abilities. None of those girls want to date with me. My Charleston and Foxtrot were a game changer.
Crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, slow waist. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, slow waist. Body yada 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 yada.
Ooh, child. It's the psych ward level of delusion for me.
Liza dear, I suggest you keep it cute and like the better parts of your career on mute. It's no secret that had it not been for your mother's legacy, you'd be just another funny face with no name.
I've been trying to tell people that she's crazy as hell. Liza, please, go drink your meds, dear. Now back to you, stewed okra. Watch this clip of Wade backstage from that night.
These are Michael's gloves from the Bad music video. Michael gave them to me when I was, 7 or 8. He's going to be with us spiritually, but I wanted to feel something physical from him. So I'm probably going to rock one of these tonight too while we perform on stage and just feel that much closer to him.
Everyone, please make special note of the gloves Wade wears in that clip. They will come up again momentarily, and I promise you, you will gag. Next, that same year, Wade wrote a special tribute to me in the official Michael Jackson opus that was published in late 2009. He wrote, quote,
We were looking at Exhibit 579. The statement that you wrote was, Michael Jackson changed the world, and more personally, my life forever. He is the reason I dance, the reason I make music, and one of the main reasons I believe in the pure goodness of humankind. He has been a close friend of mine for 20 years. His music, his movement, his personal words of inspiration and encouragement, and his unconditional love will live inside of me forever. I will miss him immeasurably, but I know that he is now at peace and enchanting the heavens with a melody and a moonwalk. I love you, Michael. Is that right?
That's what I wrote.
Those are very interesting words to write about a person that allegedly abused you. Wouldn't you agree?
He really did all that?
Yes, he did, and I'm not even done. In 2011, Wade aggressively campaigned to direct and choreograph Cirque du Soleil's Michael Jackson 1, a tribute show to me. In an email exchange with the Cirque team dated May 21st, 2011, he says, "I want to do the MJ show badly. And I'd love nothing more than to choreograph the MJ show. And finally, I am passionate to do this show. I want to make it amazing for me, for you, for Cirque, and of course, for Michael. If that's not enough, here's a clip of Wade talking about that tribute show."
I'm starting on Cirque du Soleil Michael Jackson show. So it's, the equivalent of the Beatles' Love show that they have, or the Elvis show, but for Michael, which is, exciting and terrifying all at the same time because it's such a huge responsibility. But that was why I took it on. Michael was such a huge part of my career and life. We were friends for 20 years before he passed, since I was 7. So it's an opportunity for me to give back a little bit to his legacy. It's such a big part of his legacy, and to make sure as much as I can that it's done right and that it really represents his essence.
It should be noted, Wade was never hired for that show, nor was he even offered the job. He was simply one of several people being considered. And yet, in that clip, he speaks about the show as if he has already been hired. Even then, he can't keep his story straight.
Wait, Wade campaigning for a job was curiously never mentioned in the Leaving Neverland doc.
And you know why? Because it contradicts the story that he was a person coming to terms with being abused and wanting nothing to do with me. By the way, it was only months after Cirque and my estate opted not to hire him that these allegations surfaced.
Wow, yet another morsel that was left out of the Leaving Neverland entree.
Speaking of entrees, I can't take my meds on an empty stomach, duh. Are those oxtails I see in that buffet warmer? Liza loves oxtails.
I haven't forgotten about you, Liza. Here's your bottle of Seagram's gin. Now you go lay down now, just as cute as a speckled pup. And where's the king of this panel, Elvis? I know he loves fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Bitch, Elvira was not invited.
Oh, darn, he's not here. I always miss him. I've never had a chance to give him some of this iconic, which incidentally is actually legendary.
Okay. In fact, Wade claims that by 2012, he had fully come to terms with the alleged abuse, and that he could no longer bear to hear my music because of the painful memories it brought back. Well, if that's true, why is he on tape that same year teaching a dance class using my song Unbreakable?
First of all, that's a whole bop, bitch. Why the hell didn't that receive a commercial release? I would have gotten all of my life. Another guaranteed hit. I would have displayed a teaspoon of jealousy, but I would have secretly lived, bitch.
Thank you, Prince. And again, Harpo, I must point out, that clip is from 2012. 2012, the same year that Wade claims that he came to terms with the so-called abuse, and stated that he could no longer listen to my music. Oh yeah, just so there's no confusion, that was a class that he taught. He created that basic, watered-down, unseasoned, mayonnaise-filled choreography, which means that he would have had to listen to me and my music over and over again to craft that trash-ass routine. Did that clip look like someone who couldn't bear to hear my music?
Bitch, I don't know about y'all, but I'm making another pot of tea. This is so juicy. Tell us more. Ooh, what about the gloves, bitch? You said they were important. Is it going to be on some OJ if it doesn't fit you must have quit type shit.
Oh, yes, the gloves. In Leaving Neverland, Wade can be seen burning memorabilia given to him by yours truly. He says it was a symbolic way of freeing himself from me and the past. But there's only one problem. It was staged. He sold all of the memorabilia that I had given him in 2011. He requested that those items be auctioned off anonymously. However, that request was denied. After it was discovered that he staged the burning scene, he claimed that he auctioned off the items to pay for his therapy in dealing with the alleged abuse. Well, that would be a good excuse, but remember, in 2011, when he auctioned off those items, he was still campaigning, literally begging to direct and choreograph a full show to his alleged abuser. And you just saw a clip of him dancing to my music in 2012, the same year he claims that he came to terms with the alleged abuse.
Bitch! Y'all remember the end of every episode of Matlock when he used the smallest detail that even you didn't catch to prove the innocence of his client? Well, that's what this is giving! It's finally giving what y'all said it was supposed to have gave! I'm gagging and living, bitch!
I just noticed something that somehow evaded me until a moment ago. If it had been a snake, it would have bitten me.
Let me see all this just once more. I got a feeling there's something we're overlooking. One more time, real quick. All right, hold that one. Now that one. Now here. Of course.
Moving on to James Safechuck, and this is really going to blow your Malaysian bundles back. I hope they're secure with those cute hairpins that Whitney uses.
Michael, I need you to give Jesus a try, not me. I love you, but stay out of my hair. In the name of Proverbs 26:17, whoever meddles in a quarrel not his own is like one who takes a passing dog by the ears. You know, like every time I dog walk Diana on TLP. Yes! Praise God. Glory.
Dog walked me? Surely you jest, Snippy. I'm a purebred and you're a mutt. Looking for a meal and a urine-soaked comforter to lay your head. Don't start with me because we both know I'll finish it and you. Carry on, Michael, my love.
Will you two please? I'm trying to snatch, drag, and eviscerate Harpo with these facts. How do you say it, Odelia? Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorite things.
Girl!
I love him, but woo child.
Anyway, James alleges in the documentary and court affidavits that he was abused from 1988 through 1992. He makes special mention of this train station on the Neverland property. He alleges that most of the abuse occurred in an upstairs room of that train station because it was a place not accessible to the public. The problem with this? That train station wasn't even built until December of 1993, and it opened in 1994. 2 years after he claims the alleged abuse ended, making this allegation impossible.
He just got the dates mixed up. Like if someone remembered something happening on a Tuesday, but it actually happened on a Wednesday. For instance, I typically deposit $50 million into my Christmas account at Wells Fargo every Tuesday. But there have been many times where I accidentally deposited $50 million into my utility account on Wednesday.
Maybe after Michael finishes dragging you, let me hold 2.7 of that 50 million. You got it.
Girl, bye. She doesn't even believe that peppermint jelly covered bullshit. There is a difference between mixing up a day and being several years off when describing something so heinous. That con artist clearly lied.
No, let's examine that, Prince. I don't want to leave any rumor unaddressed. Odessa, you would have a semi-point, but James signed sworn affidavits and is on tape numerous times, emphatically claiming that the abuse occurred from 1988 through 1992.
And he says that one of the locations where Michael Jackson was abusing him on a daily basis was the Neverland train station.
Right.
And now this version of the story that he tells in the TV show places that abuse in the train station in 1988-89. And we now know that the train station did not even open until 1994. In his sworn declarations in his ongoing litigation with the estate, he says that Michael Jackson stopped molesting him when he was around 14 years old in 1992 because he got too old for him.
Right.
And the whole narrative of the film is that Michael Jackson molests boys, and then when the boys hit puberty and get too old, he then ditches them and moves on to a younger boy. That's the whole narrative that they're selling with this documentary. But when it's revealed that this location where Safechuck is describing his abuse did not exist when he was the age he said he was, Dan Reed, the director of the documentary, goes onto Twitter and says, well, there's no dispute about when the train station was built, but what's in dispute is the dates of the abuse.
Right.
Well, firstly, he's now accusing his own star witness of perjury because James Safechuck has signed not one but two sworn declarations in which he states that Michael Jackson never abused him after 1992. So in order to defend his documentary, he's throwing its star witness under the bus, but also he's upended the entire narrative of his documentary. So he's just presented a 4-hour documentary which is built on the premise that Michael Jackson abuses prepubescent boys and then throws them away like trash when they get too old and replaces them. And he's now, in order to salvage the documentary in light of this contradiction, is saying actually Michael Jackson continued to be sexually involved with Jimmy Safechuck when he was a 6-foot adult.
And it's not just a case of dates being mixed up. Michael Jackson spent the whole year of 1994 living in New York City. But the point is that by the time Safechuck would have been at Neverland again, he would have been 17 or 18 years old. So it's not just a small matter, you know, it changes the entire narrative of that whole documentary. It's a big deal.
The most heinous thing, really, was that Oprah Winfrey appeared on the Trevor Noah program a couple of weeks ago, and she dismissed this train station revelation by saying, well, you know, who cares if they don't remember if something happened on a Wednesday or a Thursday? That doesn't mean if they're lying. Well, you know, we're not talking about was it Wednesday or Thursday. We're talking about a 6 or 7 year fissure in the timeline, which moves the abuse from being of a young boy to a 6-foot adult. So this is a catastrophic injury to their allegations. It really badly damages the credibility of the accusers and of the documentary itself.
Well, what do you have to say, Harpo?
She got her hands on away because it's about to get snatched. My cat receipts and pull them out because those fools for all love. This tea is good and sipping, bitch, we're gonna get you fucked up. I say, ay. Bitch, are you imitating the Yin Yang Twins? Talking about some ay. Say something. You had so much to say when you were interviewing those frauds. Take your lips off of Gail's punani and say something, bitch.
Okay, maybe Wade and James are lying, but it was my public duty to report the facts as they were presented to me. Besides, as the saying goes, where there is smoke, there's fire! You did so many inappropriate things with children, including sharing your bed with them. What grown person shares a bed with children? That just screams guilt.
Okay, that's it. Someone get my sneakers, bring me some Vaseline, and then come help me take this $18,000 worth of premium weave out of my head, because I'm about to beat this bitch's ass with the strength of all my life I had to fight.
No, Dunk. Leave her alone. Let her finish. I want all of this settled, once and for all.
Speaking of settlements, if you didn't settle that original case in 1993 to prevent yourself from having to face criminal trial, none of this would have ever happened. If you were innocent, you would have stood trial and proved your innocence in a court of law.
Careful, Harpo. I don't want you to pull a muscle with all that reaching you're doing, sis. And that's on arthritis.
First, let's address the sharing your bed thing. If the adult in the situation is sharing a bed for sinister reasons, please explain this. Wait, what is this? Is that Oprah in bed with small children and having sleepovers with children she's not related to?
Bitch, Michael got invoices, vouchers, proof of purchases, a bill of sale, a cash app handle, Venmo, PayPal, and Easy Pay. Receipts galore, bitch. Receipts galore.
Those girls were from my South African school. It was completely innocent.
Well, how do I know that? All I see is you sharing your bed with children. You yourself said, what grown person shares a bed with a child? Well, that leaves the only explanation being that something sinister was going on there, right?
You don't understand. I didn't have the best childhood. I started my school in South Africa to create opportunities for these children that were never afforded to me growing up. I developed relationships with these children because they fed my soul. I give back financially and by mentoring them, but in a way, they also give back to me by healing the child in me. Me sharing a bed with them was completely innocent. There's no Jack the Ripper in the room.
Well, well, well. That certainly sounds familiar, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Why should they be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room? This is a guy trying to help heal a child.
I didn't have a childhood either, Oprah. My whole adolescence was a revolving door of airports, studios, rehearsal halls, hotel rooms, and stages. People see the glitz and the glamour, but forget the 10 to 12 hours a day I spent perfecting every note that I sang and every dance step that we executed. That was my life almost every day from the age of 5, when the Jackson 5 formed, until I made my heavenly ascent.
Well, Michael, I love you. Oh, God, I love you so much. But I didn't have the best childhood either. And I think I turned out just fine. I mean, my cast iron skillet still makes a hell of a vessel for biscuits.
Anyway. As I got older, I developed friendships with children, such as Emmanuel Lewis and Macaulay Culkin, because it was my way of giving back and mentoring children who, like myself, were superstars before their 11th birthday. And they gave back to me by healing the child in me that didn't get to experience the whimsy, wonderment, and innocence of childhood.
What's the relationship that you had with Michael Jackson?
Had or have? I mean, it's kind
Had
of,
both.
you know, whatever.
Let's go with had to
Listen,
have.
no, he's a good friend of mine, and he still is. I mean, everything that's going on, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation for everyone involved. And the thing is, I didn't react to him the way most people did. Most people like, Michael Jackson. And, you know, I mean, he was a god to people. And to me, he was, you know, I knew he was a pop singer, but beyond that, you know, I wasn't one of the fans. I think that's one of the reasons why we connected, was the fact that, you know, believe me, I call him a jerk all the time. I call him a fathead and a this and a that, you know.
Your brother knew him too?
Yeah, no, we all did. I mean, he was, you know, a family friend.
And what
basically.
happened at the house? That's what all these things that people
You know,
are
that's
concerned
what's
about.
so weird, you know.
What did happen?
Nothing happened, you know. I mean, nothing really. I mean, we played video games, you know. We you know, played it as
Sleep
an
in the
amusement
bed?
park. Well, the thing is with that whole thing is that, you know, they go, oh, you slept in the same bedroom as him. It's like, I don't think you understand. Michael Jackson's bedroom is 2 stories. And it has like 3 bathrooms and this and that. So when I slept in his bedroom, yeah, but you have to understand the whole scenario. And the thing is with Michael is that he's not very good at explaining himself, and he never really has been, because he's not a very social person. I mean, you're talking about someone who's been sheltered and sheltering himself also for the last 30 years, or you know, and so he's not very good at communicating to people and not very good at conveying what he's actually trying to say to you. And so when he says something like that, you know, people, you know, he doesn't quite understand why people react the way that they do.
Why do you think he likes young people so
It's because it's the same reason why he liked me, was the fact that I didn't care who he was. That was the thing. I talked to him like he was a normal human being. And that's what, and kids do that to him, because he's not, I mean, he's Michael Jackson, the pop singer, but he's not the god of, you know, the king of pop or anything like that. He's just, you know, a guy who's actually very kid-like himself and wants to go out there and wants to play video games with you.
Did your
and things
parents
like
encourage it?
They weren't against it. You know, it wasn't like they encouraged it or like pushing me upon it. It was just kind of like I wanted to hang out with him, and they were fine with it.
So what do you make of what he's going through now?
Like you know, like I said, it's unfortunate, and you know, it's a circus right now.
You think it's a bad rap?
You know, I think so, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, listen, like, look what happened on the first time this happened to him. You know, if someone had done something like that to my kid, I would, you know, I wouldn't just settle for some money. You know, I'd make sure the guy was in jail, you know, and it just really goes to show. I mean, as soon as, you know, they got the money and they ran, I mean, that's really what happened the first time. And
Wait a minute, bitch! Did Macaulay say your bedroom was 2 stories and had 3 bathrooms?
Yes, my bedroom was nearly 1,000 square feet, bigger than your average apartment.
Okay, bitch. You better have an apartment-sized bedroom. I think my bedroom at Paisley Park was 2,000 square feet, but that's cute for you. Real cute. Real quaint-like.
Prince.
I'm just saying, bitch. Get your life in those crib quarters. Crib by comparison.
Moving on, let's talk about the mastermind behind the original extortion plot, Evan Chandler, father to Jordan Chandler, the 1993 accuser. Did you know about the taped conversation where Evan laid out his plan to extort me? Well, did you, Oprah?
This man is going to be humiliated beyond belief. I will not believe it. He will not believe what's going to happen to him. Beyond his worst nightmares. Sell one more record. This attorney I found, I interviewed several, and I picked the nastiest son of a bitch I could find. Once I make that phone call, this guy is just going to destroy everybody in sight. Any devious, nasty, cruel way that he can do it. And I've given him full authority to do that. It'll be a massacre if I don't get what I want. If I go through with this, I win big time. I will get everything I want, and they will be destroyed forever. They will be destroyed. June is going to lose Jordy. She will have no right to ever see him again. Yeah. That's a fact, Dave. That's what's going to happen. Michael's career will be over. Does that help Jordy? Michael's career will be over. And does that help Jordy? That's irrelevant to me.
Does that sound like a father seeking justice for his son? Or a man masterminding a major extortion plot against the most famous celebrity on earth? Why did Evan Chandler seek out a civil attorney before seeking out the police?
Okay, well.
Before you answer that, please note that phone call took place before Evan Chandler claims that his son told him that he was abused.
Wait a minute, hold up. I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it, bitch. What the fuck? Michael, did you say that was recorded before Jordan Chandler told his father about the alleged abuse?
Correct.
So, why is Evan Chandler on tape laying out an extortion scheme to lawyer up and take you down before he alleges that his son told him that he was abused?
Keep going.
And even if you were to argue that he suspected that something had happened to his son, why was he so focused on assembling a team of civil lawyers to secure a bag? I mean, does he work for Hefty or Ziploc, bitch? I am confusion.
You're almost there.
I didn't hear him once say that he was going to any police station to have the matter investigated. You know, criminally, as in what you do when something is, you know, criminal.
Boom, he done blew it up. Thank you, Prince. Thank you.
And this information has been sitting around for 25 years without any major media coverage? Herpo, sis, what are you and everyone in the media doing, bitch? This is what y'all should be covering. I mean, other than covering those Alexander McQueen-sized bags under your eyes, but there's an entirely different struggle.
They can't and they won't because my innocence isn't profitable. That one moment laid the blueprint for every extortion attempt that followed me in my life. And just so we're crystal clear, I did not settle the 1993 case to make the allegations go away. Evan Chandler and his lawyers filed a civil suit, aka a lawsuit for money, that was going to move forward before criminal charges could be brought against me. In fact, before the police had even completed their investigation into the allegations. If the civil trial took place before criminal charges were filed, that could create a situation of double jeopardy, meaning the authorities in the criminal investigation could simply study my defense from the civil trial and adjust their case to ensure a conviction in a criminal proceeding.
So, in translation from that word salad, cause woo, girl, the civil case was settled to prevent you from having to reveal your whole deck of cards before you could get a fair criminal trial.
Yes, and what I said wasn't word salad, Prince.
Whatever you say, bitch, but I had to break it down for the people. Y'all know I got you. Carry on.
Anyway, now it is illegal for civil litigation to take place before a criminal proceeding, but in 1993, it wasn't. In fact, that law was changed after my dispute was settled.
Now, if this really went on, do you think a father would accept money
that would make it okay, that would make everything all right. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I know that if that were my son, I'm sorry. I don't care if you gave me $1 billion. I want to see you either behind bars or dead for the rest of your life for doing that to my son or my daughter. It's crazy. The guy was after money is what he wanted.
You know, I settled a case once. You see, Greta Garbo and I were fighting over the last case of bun buns at our local Costco. And guess who won out? That's right, this bitch right here.
What the fuck is wrong with her?
Okay, Michael, I admit it. I was wrong. I should have investigated the claims before I gave their allegations spotlight on my platform. But what I think you and your moonwalkers fail to realize is that I'm an actual survivor of sexual assault. So Wade and James tugged at my heartstrings with what I felt at the time was a compelling set of accusations. I would be remiss if I'd blown them off, because that's what my mother did to me when I told her about my instances of abuse. It nearly broke me when she didn't believe me. So I promised I would never let another victim, alleged or otherwise, feel as if they weren't heard.
That's fine. I would never want you or anyone else to deny a victim of abuse a safe place to share what happened to them. That's what the Me Too movement was originally meant to be. However, now it has dissolved into a witch hunt and an exercise in performative wokeness. Hear accusers out. Believe them. Support them. But still, take the time to verify all claims.
Michael, I don't know if you will ever forgive me, and you have every right not to, but I would like to issue an apology, and I assure you it's coming from the sincerest of places. I wasn't aware of these facts, and I'm sure most of the general public wasn't either. In fact, I feel duped by HBO, David Geffen, along with Wade in the Water and James Facefuck. They tugged at my heartstrings because they knew that my being an actual survivor of sexual assault, their allegations would move me to want to support them. Here we are, and most influential black celebrities of all time, and we've been pitted against each other by the powers that be, that want to take you down and used me as a pawn in their dubious game of obliterate his legacy. I am both heartbroken and incensed.
Even though you joined the media in their latest attempt to cancel me and mute me forever, I'm going to end this on a positive note. Oprah, you are a black woman. And contrary to the media disinformation about my skin condition, vitiligo, I am a proud black man. We need to protect and uplift one another, not given to sensationalism by mass white media outlets, hell-bent on destroying the legacies of legendary black public figures. Going back to the great black entertainment pioneers like Josephine Baker, Jack Johnson, Bill Bojangles Robinson, Paul Robeson, and Billie Holiday, or modern day legends like myself, Whitney, and Janet. We made billions of dollars for these entertainment entities, and once we were of no use to them, they either tossed us aside or, in my sister's case, attempted to destroy her whole career because they never liked us in the first place for crossing over to the masses and dominating in our respective fields. We need to come together and uplift one another. Stop allowing these media outlets that care more about salacious headlines than the truth dictate how we treat our beloved black pioneers, legends, and icons.
Thank you for your grace and forgiveness, Michael. This served as a teachable moment for me, and I'm glad that's settled. Now, does this mean I get to meet your brother, Jackie?
Surprise!
Oh my God, Jackie Jackson! I can't believe this! What are you doing here?
I heard you wanted some of this Jackson iconic.
Oh, Jackie, long before there was Stedman, there was you in my heart. I've longed for the days when our bodies would converge as one.
Wait a minute, something looks different about you. Did you change your hair, Gail?
Motherfucker, I am not Gail. I am Oprah Winfrey, the Alpha and Omega, the omniscient, the queen of all media. Your fave's fave. How dare you confuse me with the help? All tea, no shade if you see this, Gail. But no, I am not the shadow. I am the bitch who brings the light.
You mean to tell me I withdrew $3,500 illegally out of Michael's account to purchase this Burberry trench coat, an additional $250 on yellow and burnt sienna roses, and $1,200 on a suite at the Four Seasons, and you're not even Gail, the Empress of CBS News, the most whitewashed black woman in media today? Well, if this isn't a kick in my iconic crotch, man, I'm out of here.